We have an exciting evening.
The Lowcountry Golf Hall of Fame is pleased to induct Mr. Jack Nicklaus, Rosie Jones, and Tony Nimmer tonight.
Well, first of all, please accept my apologies for not being with you tonight. But I am very, very honored to thank Bob Collar and the committee that selected me to join the Lowcountry Golf Hall of Fame. It's certainly a great honor. A nice blazer, fits perfectly, incidentally, and this very, very nice plaque. You know, I've got a pretty good relationships with the Lowcountry. Obviously, it started back with Harbour Town, and that was I guess we probably started that in 68, maybe even early 67, I'm not sure, but I think probably 68. When Charles Fraser came to Mark McCormick and asked him if he had anybody who could do a golf course at Hilton Head, which became Harbour Town. And Mark said, well, Jack's interested. He'd love to maybe talk to you. So I talked to Charles Fraser. He said, Jack, I'd like to have you do the golf course there for our new development called Harbour Town. And I said, Charles, I don't have a clue how to do a golf course, but I've had a young guy who's asked me to consult with him, and I'd like to, if I could bring him in. I think the two of us could do a job for you. He said, who's that? He says, a fellow named Pete Dye. He said, I never heard of him. Well, you will, I promise you. And of course, Pete came in with Alice, and I came in. I made 23 visits into that site. I remember our fee was $40,000, and we put it all back into the golf course. I never got reimbursed a dime for any of my travel. 23 trips in a jet, and you know, hey, it was all worth it. It was the greatest experience I've had in my life. I've since done a variety of courses, and Melrose and Nefusky, and of course. May River and Colleton River. The company did Golden Bear Golf Club, and there's probably others that I've forgotten about right now, but I've really enjoyed the Lowcountry. I enjoyed the golf. Actually, we've done Kiowa. I guess that's probably considered that Lowcountry too. And so you honor me by asking me to be part of your Hall of Fame. I think it's been a while since I've been there, but I always enjoy my visits to the Lowcountry, and particularly back to Harbour Town and the place it all started. So thank you all very much, and I hope you have a great evening, and I hope you have a great party. Thank you.
And by the way, Mr. Scott Felly edited that video, and he's thinking about a third career. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the man who put all of this together for us regarding Mr. Nicklaus, and himself iconic in his field, Mr. Scott Felly.
We have one text to send to Jack. No, it's not BBSC, it's NC. NC. I don't want him to watch this. This is going to be bad. But thank you, Bob. Please, I don't think Bob and Brenda get enough love. Can we give them a big hand? envy. You got a great head of hair over there. You didn't tell me there were going to be that many people here tonight, and that many people to be disappointed that I'm here and not Jack Nicklaus. I'll do my best. I want to first congratulate the other inductees, Rosie and Tony. Rosie, where are you? Jack sent me a note, said congrats to a fellow Buckeye. But he's ticked at you that you won $3 million more in your career than he did. So what'd you give for your first win? $33,000? Yeah, his first pro check was $33.33. And when he won the U.S. Open in 1962, it was $15,000, and part of that was the gate they gave him in the playoff against Arnold Palmer. So times have changed, haven't they? Tony, where are you? I can't grow grass, I can't sell grass, and my wife doesn't trust me to mow grass. So, you're the man. I was going to tell you that Jack had a conflict tonight and had to attend an Oscar Award nomination event. After a stirring performance in Happy Gilmore 2, but apparently they don't have a category for Best Supporting Actor with less than 2 minutes of screen time in a ridiculously silly comedy. Maybe the Golden Globes await. As Bob said, my wife is here with me and I can barely see her, so honey, I can't see you when you tell me to do the kill sign. Right? We're working on our hand signals way over here. If you'll indulge me, I do want to veer off script a little bit. Someone asked me recently if fielding a call from Adam Sandler to ask Jack Nicklaus to appear in his Happy Gilmore sequel was the craziest request I've ever received. It's not even close. Way back, I remember getting a call from Hollywood Squares asking if Jack would be the center square, and we'll take a pass. And less than 10 years ago, this is my favorite, I got a call from ABC asking if Jack would appear on Dancing with the Stars. Oh yeah. So I kept this one to myself until the board meeting. So I went through a bunch of initiatives we were working on and had a PowerPoint presentation. And at the end I said, this last opportunity might be the biggest PR hit we have had since Jack won the 1986 Masters. So then I launched this presentation about him appearing on Dancing with the Stars with actual impact stats, 25 million viewers, and a photoshopped image of dancers in sequence with Jack's head on top. Jack had no idea, so he blurts out, "What the? You've got to be kidding me." I was. And by the way, just last week I received a request for Jack to appear in a commercial for a popular fast food chain, but they wanted him working the drive-through window. I was like, I can't see him saying you want fries with that order. I can't make this stuff up. But in reality, Mr. Nicklaus did have a conflict tonight, but also he is limiting his travel outside of golf course design visits. In fact, he agreed to serve on the new President's Council for Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition, but declined to attend Thursday's announcement at the White House in the Oval Office. So it's safe to say that you did not get trumped tonight. But Jack and Bob were nice enough to allow me to come here tonight and express to you, just as Jack did in the video, just how meaningful this honor is and his induction is into the Lowcountry Golf Hall of Fame. It's tremendous. Jack was only 34 years old when over 50 years ago he was inducted into the World Golf Hall of Fame, but that was as a golfer. Someone who would go on to win 120 professional tournaments worldwide, including a record 18 major championships. And although I'm biased, I think that's a feat that I don't think will be topped anytime soon. But tonight's induction is validation. Validation of his second love, his passion, and what motivates him even today, and that is golf course design. As Bob said and Jack explained, it all happened right here, Hilton Head, and in the heart of the Lowcountry. Jack was about 26 years old when, around 1966, a buddy he played amateur golf with, a kid by the name of Pete Dye, asked Jack to come out to the golf club in Columbus, Ohio, just to take a look at the design he was working on. They rode around. They got to this one green complex. Pete asked Jack what he thought. Jack said, "Pete, I don't know anything about design, so don't ask me." So Jack looked at this green. It was perfectly round, had 4 perfectly round bunkers around it. Jack said, "Pete, this looks like Mickey Mouse ears standing on top of each other." And I was like, "Oh my God, you told Pete that." And he said, "Well, Jack, you're right. What would you do?" So Jack gave him some ideas. He integrated them into the golf course design. And the golf club's one of the finest golf courses in Greater Columbus. So Pete asked Jack, excuse me, he already said that, my bad. That day sparked something in Jack and ignited a passion in him that he has held on tightly to for 60 years. Jack is very active in design right now. He is sharp as a tack. His ideas are actually better than ever. And if given the choice, he would be in the dirt designing every day. So if anyone needs a young startup designer, I've got just a guy for you. So look for me later. Not long after that day, 60 years ago, when Jack stuck his toe into the design waters, came the conversation with Charles Frazier that Jack detailed. One thing Jack didn't mention is when Mr. Frazier asked him to design Harbour Town, Mr. Frazier said he was going to host a PGA Tour event on the course in less than a year. So Harbour Town basically opened in November 1969 with the Heritage Golf Classic, and it's going strong 56 years later. I don't know how you guys do this and not pass out. So I was actually, I was at Harbour Town today, and I was looking at the plaque outside the clubhouse of the past winners here, and was reminded that the first winner was a guy who I thought only invented the half iced tea, half lemonade. Or to steal a moment from Happy Gilmore, when Jack ordered half iced tea, half lemonade, and his waiter, Travis Kelsey, said, "Arnold Palmer." To which Jack replied, "No, Jack Nicklaus, but I get that a lot." And that is cinematic greatness. There was a certain bit of synchronicity, which means chance with a purpose, or a God wink, as I occasionally call it, that happened last night. I was traveling with my beautiful wife, Tamara, who is making a cameo appearance herself tonight. And we had all sorts of difficulties. If anyone's been traveling lately, it's a nightmare. So we had 2 cancellations, 2 delays. Finally, we start rolling in late last night. And as we're driving in, we were about to cross a bridge, the Charles E. Frazier Bridge. I thought to myself, wow, how fitting is that? Because it was Charles Frazier, one of your earliest inductees, who provided a bridge for Jack to turn, as he has told me many times, an avocation into a vocation, a hobby into a job, and a career that has been as impactful and transformational to the golf industry as the 18 majors he won over a 25-year career. Next week, I celebrate 28 years by Mr. Nicklaus' side, and I love that man. And I really love his wife, Barbara, his wife of 65 years. They just celebrated that. They are an amazing family, 5 kids, 24 grandkids, and they're working on great-grandchild number 9. So the Nicklaus legacy will go on and on and on. But by his side, I've traveled around the world with him to countries I never thought I would ever see. I didn't even know what Turkmenistan was or existed until Jack was asked to design the first golf course there. It's bordered by Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Afghanistan, and Iran. So it's no shocker that Turkmenistan is the second hardest country to enter behind North Korea. I found out the hard way, when there was a typo on my passport documents and I was detained overnight in a small room of the airport. So I will not be caddying at the first golf course in Turkmenistan. But I've also traveled to places where I've witnessed power and the connectivity of the greatest game of all, golf. Tony, you nailed it, my friend. In 2010, we traveled to Morocco for a trip to see how we can help use the game of golf to enhance the tourism efforts of that country. Jack was to meet Crown Prince Moulay Rashid. Little did he know that rather than meeting, His Royal Highness instead had plans to play golf. Jack was dressed in khakis, boat shoes, and playing with borrowed clubs, ladies' clubs. They played 9 holes at a golf course called Buznica. There was not a soul on the course, and yet it was immaculately maintained. They had a wonderful round. I believe Jack shot 37. which is not too bad. He loved it. Excuse me. They had a wonderful round. Later that night, everyone gathered at the palace. What Jack found out between the round and dinner truly moved him. The Crown Prince's father, King Hassan II, was an avid golfer. He loved the game and he loved Jack. King Hassan died 11 years earlier in 1999. The course was a favorite of father and son, and no golfer had stepped foot on it in the 11 years since the king's death. Yet it was maintained every day just in case. On that day, the course was finally played again because the Crown Prince wanted to make that connection to his father's legacy with Jack Nicklaus. When the Crown Prince and Jack saw each other later that night, they embraced and both were in tears. That is the amazing power of golf. It transcends borders and cultures, unites people, fuels destinations like the Lowcountry. And as a platform to raise charitable dollars, it is the undisputed champion. I'm sure many of you know this, but golf raises almost $4 billion a year. That's more than football, basketball, baseball combined. It's a powerful tool, and just another reason why it's a great game. Bob mentioned that I represent Folds of Honor. In a week or two, we will push out a record of close to 15,000 scholarship offers, totaling about $58 million in educational impact. That will push our numbers since inception in 2007 to about 77,000 scholarships and almost $350 million. Folds of Honor provides scholarships to the children and spouses of killed and disabled military and first responders. It's about honoring their sacrifice, educating their legacy. Our founder is Lieutenant Colonel Dan Rooney, an F-16 fighter pilot, and the only one in history to also be a PGA golf pro. So golf is in our DNA. We do about 800 golf events a year, and it's estimated that 70% of the money we raise is tied to the game of golf. But it's also just a game. When Jack's son, Jackie, the oldest of his 5 kids, was about 6 years old, he was asked by a club member what his father did for work. Jackie answered, "My father doesn't work, he just plays golf." Well, we just play golf, but to many others, it's so much more. Over my 28 years with Jack, I never had the pleasure to watch him hoist a major championship or PGA Tour trophy. I'm not counting the belt he got for the father-son, which looked like a heavyweight boxing belt. But over my 28 years, I've witnessed Jack Nicklaus's design artistry in full display, as he added about 200 courses to his incredible resume over that time. People have asked me, what is one of the most underrated characteristics of Jack? I often tell them that he is a world-class problem solver and he's a strategist. Whether it's in a boardroom or on a golf course site visit, he is amazing at solving problems. If there is an environmental issue, he calls them environmental opportunities. And as a strategist, Jack faced his course design as he did his playing career, when he was known as one of the best thinkers and arguably the best at managing a course in his game. You know, Jack's design philosophy in some ways is linked to a day he spent as a guest at a Pro-Am. He doesn't remember why he didn't play that day, but he attended an event where some of the top tour pros in the game played with amateurs. He still to this day won't tell me the golf course, but he says he remembers that all the amateurs came in after the round raving about the golf course, saying what an amazing experience it was. It was beautiful, great service. It couldn't have been a better day. Every pro, to a person, came in and said that might have been the worst golf course they ever played. Wow. So what did that tell Jack? Well, Jack learned that the average golfer is all about the beauty and the enjoyability of a golf experience. The camaraderie, the social aspect, having fun, while the better players want good strategy, good golf shots, and shot value. So he has spent his career trying to find that balance. I will never forget one project we were doing in Big Sky, Montana. The developer was putting together what we call a sizzle reel, a marketing video. And the video opened with the camera on Jack. And he's talking about, let's put a bunker here, let's angle this green, we'll take care of this landform, and we'll build this area up and this and that. Really very detailed. As he's talking, the camera pans around to what he's looking at, and it's an absolutely bare, raw piece of mountain. How do you see a golf course there? I didn't understand it, and I won't to this day. This is when I had the same reaction as Jack had about Dancing with the Stars. What the heck? Right? But just as Jack and most everyone in this room who plays this crazy game knows, visualization is important. Jack had always envisioned the shot he wanted to play and then execute it. The same goes with golf course design. But even back in early 1969, when Jack was kneeling in the Hilton Head sand with Pete Dye and Charles Frazier, I don't think he could ever have visualized what was going to happen in the Lowcountry and how important golf would be in telling the story of this legendary destination. So on behalf of Jack Nicklaus, I want to thank you tonight for acknowledging his place in the Lowcountry storied golf history and for embracing him and inducting him into your Hall of Fame. Thank you very much.
Everybody, it's your broker, Benji Getzy with Buford Lending. Rates are dropping. Don't crash and burn with your next purchase or refinance. Purchasing, refinancing, now is the time. VA 30-year fix at 5.5%, 30-year conventional, that's also in the fives at 5.9%, 100% USDA, FHA, that's at 5.5% as well. And the second home investor and DSCR, 7.5%.
Shop your rate with Buford Lending today. We want to be your broker.
She has sacrificed countless hours on weekends, during the week, and on phone calls that didn't fall within office hours. Yet she's always shown up, no matter where someone was on their journey. Whether just starting competitive golf or chasing a collegiate dream, her dedication has never wavered. I know this is all true because I am one of those female golfers. For the past 5 years, I've been blessed to call her my mentor. Achieving big goals can feel impossible until someone believes in you enough to walk the journey with you. It is my absolute honor to introduce someone whose name stands for grit, grace, compassion, and a deep love for the game of golf. A true legend and fierce competitor, and an even greater mentor, Miss Rosie Jones.
Rosie, congratulations.
Thank you for this honor bestowed on me tonight. I am so humbled by the recognition of this this award to be in the Hall of Fame. Thank you to the selection committee, to Bob and Brenda Collier, for your passion, your vision, for making so many of these peeps in the golf industry of the Lowcountry, recognizing all of their great achievements. I mean, this is awesome because I've been doing this a long time, as many of us here, but also thank you to all of the Hall of Fame members that came before us and are here tonight to help us celebrate the great game of golf and to be with us tonight. Thank you. It's not the critic who counts, not the woman who points out how the strong person stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the woman who is actually in the arena, whose space is marred by dust and sweat, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes up short again and again. Because there is no effort without error and shortcomings, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends herself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if she fails, at least spells while daring greatly, so that her place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. Thank you.
Thank you, Rosie. Well deserved, obviously. We have the next inductee, Tony Nimmer, great golfer, great amateur golfer, had a great career at Clemson, many accolades there. He's the only amateur golfer to win the Hilton Head Amateur
championship, and the Hilton had senior amateur championship. We're not doing super senior, Tony.
Woo! Wow, Bill. You know, thank you, Bob, for having me follow Rosie Jones. You know, I could have gone first. Thank you, Brother Bill. You're welcome. How is she better golf than me? She's a lot better, fully bigger than me. She's gonna be tough. You know, before we got started tonight, Gary Dern came over to the table and congratulated me, and he said, "How you doing?" I said, "I'm a little nervous, but I'm gonna get through it." He looked on my cue cards and he said, "Okay, I see the first words you got down. Wow." He said, "That's a good start." Well, I can just tell you, wow. That's all I can tell you. I'm just blown away with this honor tonight. I just can't tell you. Can't believe I'm standing here in front of you. Hall of Fame committee, thank you so much for honoring me, for my life, my love of golf. I can't get over it. This will surely be, without a doubt, the pinnacle of my life in golf. No. I just like to say again, committee, thank you so much for this great honor, and have a good evening. Thank you.